Hero Class Civil Warfare by Rogue Druid. Chapter 15, Duels in the Dark. Day 1, 23 hours 54 minutes, 11:54 p.m. local time. Juzo would have been taken out in the first moment of the fight if he hadn't turned to check his 6 o'clock. As it is, he only brought his hook staff around in time to clumsily fend off a high-speed kick from a student in orange and black armor. He stumbled back and into Itsuka's side, causing her to spin around, hands already expanding. By then, the attacker had kicked off, flying up and back across the roof, pulled back in a long arc to where 2 strands of tape were stuck to the rooftop. Tower, got 3 on us from above. We need an exit stat. Sero, Uraraka, and Tsuburaba. Itsuka muttered. It was true. Staff raised and held to guard, Juzo could see what was going on more clearly now. Sero was floating just above the roof, the tape from his elbows anchoring him. Beside him, Tsuburaba mantled over the ledge, while Uraraka landed from a long jump, tapping her hands together as she and Sero dropped to the floor. Hello, villains. We are here to capture you. Come along quietly or get wrecked, Tsuburaba called, tensing for a fight. Hold on a minute, I gotta check something. Better make it fast, hacker. Sen and Yusetsu rushed, the civil bot held by its legs and torso between them as they moved across the street. Sen glanced around and cursed. There, probably 2 blocks away and closing in fast, a snaking line of vines was coming their way. It was ridden by 3 figures as it lashed out and dragged itself forwards rapidly. Graffiti, get going. I'll slow them down. Sen dropped the legs towards Yusetsu, who rushed into the side street and headed for the still idling truck. At the same time, Sen pulled his handgun back out and took careful shots at the heroes. 2 blocks, almost 1/4 of a kilometer in distance. The snap hiss sound of the gun went fast as he tried to pepper the approaching heroes. Sadly, they fell apart when the vines simply shifted and curled back, granting Shiozaki and her allies built-in cover before they surged forward once more. Oh, that's not fucking fair. Sen put the gun away as he ran down the side street, the roar of the pickup signaling that it was time to go. He reached to his jacket lapel and pulled a cylinder from where it hung, yanking the pin and dropping it as he vaulted the back of the truck. He came to a stop less than a meter from the welded-to-the-wall mic bot. Go, go, go! He hammered on the cab's back wall with a boot, looking at the first tendrils of vines that came creeping along the street. Then his grenade started spewing thick and heavy smoke into the night air, quickly blacking out the alley behind him. Awase hit the gas, shifted gears, and with the squeal of tires on concrete, they were off. They exited with a cloud of smoke spewing after them, along with vines that crept along buildings and chased them. Oh, god damn it. He pulled the gun again and started taking pot shots, forcing Shiozaki to multitask. I know she's been putting time into growing her vines bigger and faster, but this is goddamn insane. He managed to make them stagger back, hiding behind vines a few times, but the truck was swerving slightly. Graf, keep her steady. Hack, we need a route that won't get us caught, please. Hold tight, came the call, and Sen grimaced, holding tight as the truck all but drifted and they turned south, spinning their tires and squealing as they made a wide right turn away from the borders of the district, taking them down another street. Working on it. Work faster, bitch. Yeah, okay. Yosetsu was pissed. Fuck. Sen grabbed another grenade, an incendiary this time, and yanked the pin, counting down from 3. Tossing flame! The bomb skidded off the street where, with a dull, explosive sound, it spread a splash of flames across the street, the fuel sticking to the concrete and burning. The plants reared back. Shiozaki obviously was taken off guard, before the vines shifted to climb the buildings as the 3 riders were circling up and around the flames. Floor it past this street and take the next right turn, then go straight through the next 3 blocks. After that, the road turns back north as you pass the city center, and you can hopefully juke the heroes a bit. Fine. Shit. Sen, brace! Oh, shit! The truck shuddered as it sideswiped a parked sedan. The turn down the side street, going wide. Sen was gripping the truck bed walls with white fingers at the impact before the car skidded back off and continued down the street. Warning would be nice. Fuck you, Sen. Sorta busy. This is Khan. I'm back and retaking comms so Hacker can do her job. Drugs, lift, keep it slow and careful. Slight, smuggler, get inside the building. The roof beneath you is clear for passage. Night, black, open the southeast side warehouse loading door. You want Bay 4. Get the pallet ready to go as fast as possible at the opening. You'll have less than a minute to drop and get in. Graph and hold, keep on the course. The heroes are falling behind, which is good, but I've got some worrying movement from the Iceman to the north. Mina and Reiko shared a glance, hearing the troubles their allies were facing. Let's hurry. They might need backup. Mina held out her hand and flexed as she spoke, the gloves that collected the acid releasing sharp, hooked claws. With a flex of her wrist and hand, she swapped the pump on her suit from draining to releasing her acid. With the heavy-duty, non-corrosive points exposed and dripping with alkalines, she went to work. She scored lines filled with the highly potent acid that slowly melted and corroded through the concrete and rebar wall between them and the server room. As it crumbled, she dug the claws in, pulling the decayed chunks away to let the acid eat deeper, faster. She scored through each layer quickly, Reiko standing back to avoid the slowly spreading line of acid across the floor. The ghost girl poured a neutralizing compound across them with the help of a phantom limb. From testing on another building, they knew this would take almost 10 minutes. The schematics showed there weren't any sensors or alarms in the server room, only the rooms and offices leading into it. Uraraka was pulled back by Sero's tape once more, the coil around her hand helping as she pulled free of the sudden quicksand that the floor became. Across from them stood Itsuka and Juzo, breathing heavily as they looked ready to fight. The combat had been hectic, the heroes avoiding the rooftop itself as best they could, since the surface shifted back and forth from stone and concrete to a consistency resembling tar. The villains, in return, were much more elusive, avoiding Uraraka's hands or Sero's tape. Tsuburaba had taken a few pot shots, but was far more concerned with giving his team a place to step or thing to grab so they could stay free to move. Slight, I believe it's time for us to step down, Juzo called, slamming his foot down and setting his staff at the ready. A moment later, and he had shifted a much larger radius around him to a tar-like consistency. The heroes leaping back. Itsuka stepped close as she pulled a simple mouth and nose mask from her jacket, pressing it on to seal with a hiss. Uraraka had but a second to realize what their plan was before she was lunging in low gravity, trying to clear the gap in a last-ditch attack. She was stopped, though, Juzo swinging up the bottom of the hook cane to slam into her, throwing her back and up for a minute as the two villains dropped through the roof, sinking through a sudden hole of liquid. "Shit. In we go," Tsuburaba muttered before blowing a platform of air for Uraraka to stand on as the surface of the roof solidified once more. "This is going to be a nightmare," Sarah muttered, flexing as he readied himself. Yosetsu gritted his teeth, hand gripping the gear shift tight and body leaning into the foot on the gas pedal. He popped the clutch and swapped to a higher gear, palming the wheel as he steadied his course again, avoiding one more reaching vine that tried to engage and slow the side swipe the truck made from a side alley. Honestly, he knew Shiozaki had been training, but normally, to get her quirk going like this, she needed an open field or somewhere to grow and strengthen. Fuck. Kon, is there a city park around here? There's a corner park a block north and two closer to the center of the district. Kon confirms his suspicion, and Yosetsu guns it, counting down the distance. Another creeping vine crawls from an alley on the north side of the street, gets flattened, but not before taking off his right side mirror. It's there. Her vines are coming from there. Well, shit. You need to go right past it unless you want to be close enough to the hero agency for it to send back up. Kon responded, voice sharp. Good. Reaching back, Yosetsu reached down and grabbed his gun from his belt before he slammed the butt of the weapon against the rear window of the cab, shattered tempered glass raining down across the seat next to him. Sen, I got a plan. What do you need? Your fire bombs. Three days before the exam, May finished her final check on the equipment. Before her, 12 metal briefcases were opened and lined up, their contents on display. Red goo, flame, concussive, flash, smoke, tear gas. She checked off her list. Izuku had requested these, and they were easy enough. Most of the designs even been pre-made. A bit of editing to remove as much spare material as they could feasibly get away with was done, particularly once she had Momo and Nato produce the casings. Speaking of the Miracle Matter makers, the two had headed to lunch, planning to gorge themselves to make up for lost calories and fat reserves. May took her time closing up and locking the cases. After Izuku's earlier visit and subsequent nap, she had finished most of the materials for the exercise. She packed the briefcases in a crate and looked over the back of the trucks in her lab. Two were filled with stacks of organized cases and crates, all small enough to fit in the eventual bases and travel through the sewers. She had RG guns and ammo, demolition charges, the hollow wall, comms and computers, and personalized suits of gear, all personally designed to make the villains stylish and dangerous, and much, much more. The one with the mount for her baby was particularly exciting, and there were a few crates prepped there as well. But she had two more projects that Izuku hadn't seen yet. May stashed the grenade crates in the trucks and then wandered to the back of her lab, pulling the half-completed projects from where they sat, hidden in plain sight. She had her personal equipment almost ready, the partial exoskeleton finished, and the armor close to completion. But for Izuku, well, his gear was still only going to be a prototype. and that's all she could give him. But she was sure he would make it work, despite the time limit it would have. She heard the door to the lab open. Nato's softly accented voice chatting about basic weapon designs with a cheerful Momo. May blocked them out for a moment. She had 3 days, and aside from finishing with her personal projects, there was one more thing she wanted to do. The trucks were nice, but Izuku had a point. Style and impact were important. She pulled up the requisitions form and the catalog of cars already placed in the city. Most were old beaters, donated for use in the exam, and tabbed through it, selecting a town car for getting in early. But she needed the right car, something Izuku would like. Tomorrow, any of the villains who couldn't already drive were learning the basics of driving anyway. Yosetsu planning to walk them through it. Since May could drive, just not legally, she decided that she would use the spare time to get started. What I need is something fast. She paused, looking at the picture on her screen, before grinning. It wasn't what she expected, and Izuku would need to take an extra class to learn it. Perfect. Hey guys, it's Tempe. Thank you for getting this far. I really enjoyed reading this fanfiction, and I wanted to share it with you. So many people wrote their own takes on how the Civil War for AU would go down, but I enjoyed this one specifically. So if you enjoyed this as much as I did, please consider giving me a like, comment, or subscribing. If you have any suggestions that you would like me to read, please leave a comment or send it to the email in the description. That's everything, so I will see you in the next one. Bye!